Alright, my friends, this is Grandmaster Kerofsky. This is Tode Talk 6. See, I'm sitting right here and I got my poster behind me. This is not a actual physical one, so in a way that's good because I didn't have to pull my couch out and fold my table up and all that. What I usually do twice a week because I do my workouts in this room twice a week. So today I'm taking a break from all that and doing Tode Talk 6. The fire system, no, let me scratch that. Not the fire system. Because karate is the system. Alright? The 5 original styles of such system. That's what today's video is. The 5 styles of karate. The 5 original styles of karate. Ones that all styles of karate come from. They are all linked to one of these 5 styles of karate. Kerofsky for my new Kicking It with the Kerofskys channel. Whoa. Yeah, I have this all written down, and you can find this on my website, and I have a listing of the 5 original styles on my website underneath the history of Shuri Te, Shuri. Alright, which is the longest book of style, which I'll get to that. Alright. Now, I already said that, but I have that written down right here in the top footnote. All karate styles gets its roots from Okinawa. All karate styles gets their roots from Okinawa. Alright. And here's the 5 original styles of karate. First I'll do the list, and then I'll talk about the 5 original styles. One, Tode Te, or Tode Sagawa, 1548, 1627, born in 1609. I'm going to get to this. Shuri Te, Tymon, 1608, 1695, from Shuri, Okinawa. Alright? You're going to notice something here. Tomara Te, from Kusuka Matsumaro, 1829, 1898, Tomari, Okinawa. Naha Te from Kenru Hagano, 1853-1950, in Naha, Okinawa. And the last one is Goju Te, which became Goju with children, Miyagi, 1888-1953. Now, you notice that besides Tode Te and Goju, three of the original five styles are named after the cities that they came from. The three kingdoms of Okinawa. They were the three kingdoms. Okay? And I also have a report on that entitled Gokinki, the White Crane, and I talk about the three kingdoms in that report. Tode Te. Okay, here it is. Okay, here it is. The controversy that I created when I talk about little known Tode Sakawa. Alright? They say that the founder of all Okinawan karate, okay, is Kangi Tode Sakugawa, who lived from 1733 to 1850. But how could that have been? Because karate was introduced in Okinawa in 1609. By a Chinese fisherman drifted up the coast of the Ryukyu Islands. Alright? Named Kusuku. Alright? Calculated 1528 to 1623. And that was in 1609. Before that, the Okinawans studied their ancient form of wrestling called Tegumi. Alright? In 1477, that was banned until the new king, King Shota, right, who was the longest reigning Okinawan king. Now here's the three kingdoms. Because Tegumi was also named after the three kingdoms. Okay, Tegumi, Shuri, Tegumi, Naha, Tegumi, Tomara. King Shota, I'm going back to King Shota, lived from 1583 to 1670. He reigned from 1609 until his death. It's a long reign. But in 1609, when Te was taught, Te meaning hand, and Tode Te is translated, even though it's named after a person, but it's translated as Chinese hand. Alright? Was taught to the Okinawans. Became a new era in Okinawa of hand-to-hand fighting, and it was used all the way up until World War II. So, Now Shuri Te, from the very rich Tode Te, as they wrote down here, and the very effective wrestling throwing Togumi. Shuri Te was forged and rooted on the islands of Okinawa. This style has the longest unbroken history of any style of karate, period. From its roots of Shuri Te to Shuri Ru, when it became known as Ru, to Matsumara Shorin Ru, into the somewhat modern Shinju Kempo, which is one of these styles that I also study. In fact, that's the style that I have a master's belt in, a grandmaster's belt in. Boy, you're BSing, guys. Okay, but man here. And Shuri is linked to the masters of old Lake Kangi Sakugawa, 1733 to 1850. Now, I'm not going to dispute this, okay? I would believe, I will say that, you know, when karate was introduced to Okinawa in the early 1600s, you know, you imagine training in something that's new. Now you're going to combine it with your ancient wrestling, and then, you know, and then it's going to be the teachings are going to be passed down. So Kangi Sakugawa, in that aspect, is the father of Okinawan karate, because karate was already rooted, but he made it go the other 4 directions. Okay? Alright, now, okay, what was I saying? Masters of old, okay? Kangi Sakugawa, 1750 to 1815. Bisoken Matsumara, 1767 to 1869. Choki Matobu, 1870 to 1944. To Anku Itusu, 1831 to 1915. Tosu passed his knowledge to Gishin Funakoshi, 1868 to 1957, who traveled to Japan by the invite of the Japanese Ministry of Education, and he taught karate to school children. Yes, Funakoshi was born in Shuri, Okinawa, and then he died in Tokyo, Japan. Right? 1868, 1957. So like I said, karate is from Okinawa, not Japan. The Japanese got karate came from Japan because of Gishin Funakoshi. Funakoshi style became known as Shotokan. Shoto, his pen name, and Kan meaning training hall or school. And this led to Shuri Ru grandmasters like Robert A. Trias, 1923 to 1989, who brought karate to America, to the United States. Robert Trias is the father of American karate. He taught, and that led to the Jess Mills, my sensei, 1940 to 2011. And he taught me. And that's my link of Shuri Wu. Shuri Wu is my base style. So that is a long, unbroken history. Okay? And you gotta remember, now I pass down Shuri Wu through my Tiger Wu. Alright, because it's the base style. So, and I teach that to my son Timmy. And of course, Tiger Wu is Shuri Wu. This is Hungar Kung Fu and American Kenpo and Jiu-Jitsu, a little bit of Taekwondo and Shunju Kenpo. And so my martial arts knowledge, as you can tell, is vast, my friends. And that's the lineage all the way from Tode Te to Shuri Te. And that's just those two. Now Shuri Te spread from the old kingdom city of King Shota to the second kingdom city of Tomara, Okinawa. Yet again, a new system is born from Tode Te, meaning Chinese hand, which I said before, to Shuri Te, Shuri hand way. So think about it. Te meaning hand, Shuri is a city, so it means Shuri hand way. And the Shuri kingdom, which was what King Shota was from, the main kingdom. Alright? And then now to the second city, to Tomara Te, alright, which is another coastal kingdom of Okinawa. See what I'm talking about? How it's spreading from one to the next to the next. Now new generations are learning it. Okay? So the roots are vast. The roots are vast. Right? Now Naha Te. When it split to the city of Naha, Kenru Hagano, 1853 to 1915, took from the hard system of karate, karate meaning empty hand, and made it even softer and more fluent. First from Hagano Naha Te to Nagano Naha Wu. The word Te, meaning hand, was changed to Wu, meaning tradition. Hagano made the style, or shall I say, the system of karate. Because remember, karate is the system, and Naha Te was one of the styles of that system, named after another king's city, named after another kingdom. Right? So Hagano made this system of karate go full circle, because he went to China trained and lived in China for 15 years. What they call Chinese Goju. Goju meaning hard and soft. And then, when he came back to Okinawa, with the wife and children, I didn't read how many children, he linked the entire roots of karate from that Chinese fisherman, Kensuku, to the Okinawan system that was derived from it, and made it go full circle, utilizing some of the softness and fluidity of Kung Fu. Right? Kung Fu means to be skilled at. Then came Goju, the Chinese Goju. Goju means hard and soft. Go hard, Ju soft. And then Ru, traditional, of course. In 1930, Master Chojen Miyagi, who learned from Hagano, see, so they have another master learning from that master. The roots are being established, okay? Chojen Miyagi, 1880 to 1953, after being trained by Hagano, made Goju his own, okay? He was very quick and dangerous. He was deadly. As legend foretells, he killed 52 bulls with his bare hands. 52 bulls with his bare hands. Wow. He showed the power from the softness of Goju. He showed the power from the softness of Goju. But we reiterate this again. All styles of karate were formed from these 5 styles of Okinawan karate. And the other styles to follow are Shunjuru Kempo. I had to put that one on there. Bonaparte Kosaki. 1798, 1881, and 1870. Kabashi Ru and Shorin Ru, founded by Jishin Jabani in 1933. He lived from 1885 to 1969. Forgive me if I mess up some of these names. Ishinmu, founded by Tatsu Shimabuku. Tatsu Shimabuku. 1908 and 1975. And founded it in 1956. Yuichiro, founded by Ken Wun Yuichi, 1877, 1948, and 1925. Shitobu, founded by Kenben Mubani, 1881 to 1952 and 1931. Wade-ru, founded by Hironori Osaku, 1892 to 1982 and 1934. Kinga-ru Kabuto, founded by Shimpo Mataoshi, 1922 to 1997 and 1965. Then Matsumara Sito Shorin-Ru, founded by Hohen Soken, 1889 to 1982 and 1976. Alright? Now, let's talk about foundations. Tiger-Ru, from the roots of Shuri, the long unbroken history linked to the Chinese fishermen, right? All the way. And these 5 systems that all tied to it, right? Tiger-Ru, founded by me, Grandmaster Timothy L. Kerofsky. I was born in 1965. Not dead yet. I don't wish to be dead anytime soon. I hope not. But anyway, and they founded it in Seattle, Washington, in 1991, and then in 1994, I added to it, added the belt systems to it, and now my Tiger-Ru spread from there, and my son Timmy is learning it from me. And I talked about the poster before. From the different colors. Let's just start with the white belt, which is not shown. White belt with the yellow stripe, which is not shown. But then you get your first full color belt, which is yellow. Okay? 7th coup. The green, 6th coup. The blue, 5th coup. The purple, 4th coup. The light purple, pinkish color, right? Then brown. 3rd coup. This represents 2nd and 1st coup, right? Then the black belt, dawn, to get the manhood. This represents 2nd and 3rd dawn. This represents 4th and 5th dawn. The tiger represents 6th, 7th, and 8th dawn, the Koshi levels. That's the master level, the red belt. And then the dragon represents the grand master, which I am now. Alright. Alright. Now what was I going to say now? I'm going to do my conclusion. Sadly today, karate is watered down. Many people want to just pay for a belt and not work hard and earn it. They don't want to follow the rules. Right? Many wannabes on Facebook and social media are trolls. Many troll other martial artists, put them down. And as a martial artist, you're not supposed to do that because it goes to principles of the martial arts. Alright? Bullying is what you don't do as a martial artist. That's why I don't teach Mega. That's why I would never teach Mega. Alright? To other martial there are many martial artists that claim to be belts that they're not. Like you see, for example, a person that's on Facebook that's like 26 years old, let's say, and they say, well, I'm a 8th degree black belt. We're not even eligible for that rank. Alright, the problem with my camera is I don't know if it cuts out or not. It actually stays on until I shut it off. So, I know it's weird. because usually most camera, when you run out of the space, the camera just shuts down, and then I go, oh hey, cut right there. I'm gonna go back and continue filming from this point, because you can look up and see, like when I used to do my old videos. But this camera doesn't do that. So it cut out when I was talking about social media martial artists, the trolls, and the people that say, oh, I'm a 8th degree black belt at 20 years old or whatever, but you're not even eligible for that rank. You're not even eligible for 7th Dan high until you're 40. So it's just like, what the heck, It don't make any sense at all, I mean, I earned mine. I served in the Navy. I started my karate journey when I was a kid, as you guys know, and under Jess Mills, and then I joined the Navy. And when I was in the Navy, I got into other martial arts like American Kenpo and Hungar, and I trained in the martial arts when I was at sea. I would go up to the tomahawk decks and train, and I worked hard for mine. And then I see these internet trollers, all these people that claim these things, and they call out the BS, and it saddens me because how hard I worked, how long it took me to earn it. I got injured in combat. I got injured by getting knocked down the ladder well, and all this stuff, and there's a spot on there. Maybe I will clean it up. Maybe that's what the little dot is. Okay. Anyway, all the things that I went through, then to get back into a martial arts, journey into a softer style, Shuri Kenpo, which I talk about that briefly in this video, when I list other systems of karate that derive from the 5 other styles of karate derived from the 5 original styles. So it does sadden me. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I was going to say. And I was talking about how it's all watered down today. Like Bruce Lee called it fancy jazz. But Ed Parker, man, I loved Ed Parker, a great guy. I trained in the American Kenpo under him. And with the tutelage of Ed Parker, on the instruction of Ed Booz, Ed Parker did come for promotions. I did train under Ed Parker from time to time for the promotion days. So yes, I got my black belt under Ed Parker in American Kenpo. And when he started the tournaments in the 1960s, 62 I want to say, Bruce Lee was the special guest there, and he was entertaining Elvis Presley because he was Elvis's personal bodyguard. He was just an amazing person, and he did that so all these other styles of karate can come together besides American Kenpo. All these other things can come together, considering some exotic things of Kung Fu. And it all came together in a tournament in the United States. And you can see these forms and see this really cool elaborate stuff and the katas and the techniques and all that, in the sparring championships that went on. But now, even back then, Bruce Lee cut a fancy jazz. You can't argue with Bruce Lee, Even back then, when Bruce Lee was a guest at that first international, It was actually in 1964. He talked about, you know, karate being too rigid still. He talked about some of the stuff that was fancy jazz when sports karate started coming about, and with the flashy kicks and the high jumping things and stuff that wasn't going to work on the street. He called it all flashy jazz, right? Today it's just way too rooted in sports, way too rooted in that flashiness, and it's lost a lot of tradition. You know, one of the videos I did here on this channel before, when I was talking about Robert Trias and going to go see some of the dojos that he trained under, they're all watered down now, and that saddened me. It's like, you guys never heard of Trias? He's the one that brought karate here to the United States. It's just, and then you get those trolls and those people, those wannabes. It's not the same. People don't want to earn it. They don't want to work hard for it. And that's kind of pretty much where I left off. The next Karate Talk. The next Karate Talk will be, actually I'm going to do religion and the martial arts. Then I'm also going to do one about philosophy of the martial arts. I'll surprise you between those two. And you know, philosophical aspects, because Bruce Lee always liked to talk about the philosophical aspects. And that would be that. My next Friday, my five animal video, my fifth deadly animal that I'm doing for the 5 animal series. I'm ending it off with the easiest one. I started with one of the harder ones, and now I'm ending it off with the easiest, the mantis. Oh no, I already did mantis. The scorpion. Scorpion, doing the scorpion. And that's it. I'll see you in the next Karate Talk. Hi!
you.